Have you ever had that? A vision in your mind, it feels so real, like you can almost reach out and touch it. You see that ideal future, you feel it, you know it's possible. But then, well, you open your eyes and reality just kind of stubbornly stays the same. If you've ever wondered why that really vivid inner picture feels so powerful, but often struggles to actually show up in your life, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're really diving deep into the maybe surprising truth behind why those mental pictures alone aren't quite enough.
Oh yeah, it's a super common frustration, isn't it?
Okay.
And the sources we looked at for this deep dive, they point to something really fundamental.
Mm.
It's not just about dreaming or, visualizing your future. It's about your energetic frequency.
Okay, frequency.
Yeah, think of it like this. Every thought, every feeling, every belief you hold, it's like it broadcasts a signal. Your own personal Wi-Fi, basically. And the quantum field. It isn't really listening to your words or looking at your mood board. It's downloading the data from the signal you're embodying.
Right. So in this incredible quantum realm that we're all swimming in, visualization is just one piece of the puzzle. A much bigger recipe, maybe.
Exactly. The real game changer is your unique vibrational state, your overall energy.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The universe, it doesn't respond to pleas or demands.
No, it doesn't. It responds to alignment. It responds to the clear, authentic signal you're consistently putting out there.
Okay, so alignment, not just wishing.
Right. And that signal isn't something you just, switch on when you sit down to meditate for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's the underlying frequency you carry around with you. It's in your breathing, your small daily choices, your sort of default emotional state. The cosmos isn't really reading your carefully crafted affirmations. It's reading your essential being.
Wow.
And when you really grasp this, when you understand that your ideal life isn't something out there you have to chase down, but it's actually an energetic state you could theoretically access right now, well, everything starts to shift.
And this isn't just some vague idea, right?
Yeah.
This energetic state, you're saying it's tangible, vibrational.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has a distinct quality, like an unwavering confidence, a sense of consistent flow. It doesn't hurry. It doesn't yearn or desperately want. It doesn't question the timing. It understands.
To the frequency of someone who's already living it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's often why it feels so difficult at first. Because our whole lives, maybe, we've been kind of conditioned to vibrate at someday.
Right. I'll be happy when.
Yeah. We've been taught to delay, to work towards worthiness, and to earn our place.
And now, maybe for the first time, you're hearing this invitation to just release all that old programming and simply become the thing that felt impossible before.
That's the core of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, at first it might feel a bit awkward, maybe even like you're, I don't know, faking it somehow.
Sure, I can see that.
But that feeling, that's just your nervous system recalibrating. Like
Yeah.
your internal GPS is adjusting to a new, higher destination that deep down your soul already recognizes.
Okay. So, our mission for this deep dive, then, is to really unpack not just the idea of manifestation, but the specific frequency that actually opens the door to the life you've been imagining. We're going to talk about how to move from wanting to knowing, how to embody that as if feeling without pretending, and how to navigate life as if it's already yours.
Okay, so let's be really, really clear on this from the get-go. The quantum field isn't like checking off items on your wish list.
Right.
It mirrors who you are being right now. It doesn't analyze your vision boards or, count how many positive thoughts you had today. It simply reflects the energy signal you're transmitting. Full stop.
And that signal isn't just about your big dreams or goals, is it? It comes from something deeper.
Much deeper. It comes from your core sense of self, not the identity you talk about wanting, but the one you actually live through. It's how you walk into a room, how you handle something unexpected, good or bad, how you carry yourself when absolutely no one else is watching.
Because in the quantum view, reality isn't something you just get. It's something you're constantly creating from the inside out.
Exactly. Let me give you a concrete example. Maybe that helps. Let's say you visualize having tons of wealth, right? But you spend your actual days completely stressed about money, feeling anxious about every purchase. What signal do you think the field is picking up on?
The anxiety, I guess, not the wealth picture.
Precisely. Or, okay, you dream of finding deep love, but when someone gives you a genuine compliment, you brush it off. Or you avoid real emotional closeness. The field detects that withdrawal.
About the openness to love.
Right. And one more now, You imagine huge growth for yourself, maybe in your career, but you
Yeah.
constantly talk about your current situation like you're completely stuck, trapped by circumstances. Well, the field just accepts that narrative. It isn't fooled by your aspirations. It measures your internal consistency, what you really believe and feel deep down.
And this, I think, really explains why so many people feel stuck. They feel like they're doing all the right things, the meditation, the journaling, the visualizing, but the results just aren't materializing.
Exactly. And the why is often because their mind and their body, their thoughts and their feelings aren't sending the same message.
Ah, okay, like they're out of sync.
Totally out of sync. Their thoughts might be reaching for this amazing new reality, but their body, their nervous system, is still broadcasting those old familiar patterns. Fear, inadequacy, maybe just survival mode. It's like sending contradictory signals, right? And the quantum field just reflects that confusion right back at you.
That makes so much sense.
And this is precisely where the real transformation kicks in. It happens when your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors all start communicating the same message.
Okay.
This is what we call coherence, being coherent.
Yeah.
And in that state, your energetic frequency becomes steady, it becomes powerful, and honestly, incredibly magnetic. That's when reality literally seems to start reorganizing itself to match your inner state.
Okay, so, put simply then, wanting something, but not really being the person who has it, that creates static, confusion.
Yeah, chaos, static, interference, whatever you want to call it. But when your identity, who you feel you are, and your desires finally line up, your signal becomes crystal clear. And the field doesn't respond to wanting, remember. It responds to knowing.
Knowing. Okay. But I can hear some people listening right now thinking, all right, intellectually I get that, but how do I do it? How do I actually embody that knowing, especially when my bank account or my relationships aren't showing me that reality yet?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And the answer is, you generate that validation internally first. From the inside out, you stop waiting for the outside world, for the circumstances, to give you permission to be the person you want to become.
You don't wait for the evidence.
No. Instead, you start carrying yourself differently, communicating differently, moving through the world as if that reality is already here. And look, it's not about pretending or being fake. It's about remembering your deepest, most authentic self, the one underneath all the layers of doubt and conditioning we pick up.
You know, it's fascinating because this isn't really a brand new idea, is it? It reminds me of like Neville Goddard talking about living from the wish fulfilled.
Absolutely. Or, Joe Dispenza's work on creating new neural pathways by feeling the future emotion now.
Or even Greg Braden and heart-brain coherence.
Exactly. The core principle is consistent across all these different approaches. You stop trying to become something and you start existing as that person right now. That's the quantum frequency we're talking about. It's not something you chase. It's a state you choose to embody again and again until your whole system adapts to it.
Okay, but let's be real. That takes courage.
Oh, absolutely. It requires bravery. Stepping into that version of yourself before the world confirms it, that can feel, well, isolating sometimes, maybe confusing, even a bit artificial at first, like we said.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that feeling. That's often just your old identity, your former self, kind of trying to cling on to maintain its position in your energy system. You notice it, you acknowledge it, maybe you even thank it for trying to protect you, but you don't let it drive the bus anymore. You become the initiator of change, not just the recipient. You literally become the new reality first.
So it's not about faking confidence, but tapping into like an inherent sense of enoughness.
Exactly. Operating from that space. When your subconscious starts to feel secure in that new state, your energy naturally expands. And when your energy expands, the quantum field responds. It has to. So if you've been pushing and striving and feeling stuck, maybe it's time to release that whole approach. You're not here to work harder for your dreams. You're here to recognize that the version of you who already lives them isn't some far-off goal. They're just operating on a different frequency, a more stable, more embodied frequency. And that version, they already know how to move, how to speak, how to choose, how to feel, like it's all done. Because from their perspective, it is.
Okay, let's dig into that embodying as if idea a bit more, because you're right, those words can sometimes sound flimsy, like just acting.
Yeah, they've been misunderstood, even kind of ridiculed sometimes.
Oh.
Superficially, myself, you're just putting on an act, hoping the universe gets fooled. But truthfully, embodying as if isn't acting at all. It's what we could call frequency conditioning.
Frequency conditioning. Okay, I like that. So it's not a performance.
Not at all. It's about synchronizing your physical being, your body, your nervous system, with the energetic signal you intend to send out. Before the outside world gives you permission, you're not waiting for external proof. You are actively generating the proof internally first.
So by doing that, you're sending a clear message to the field, like, okay, I am this now, reflect it back.
Precisely. And yeah, this can be challenging because, your bank account might still say lack or your relationships might still feel tense. And yet the invitation is to operate from this new frequency anyway. Why? Because that's how energy actually transforms into matter, not through waiting, but through shifting your identity first.
Okay, so practically speaking, how does someone practice this day to day without feeling like they're completely delusional?
Start small. Seriously, start small. You don't need to, quit your job and pretend you're a millionaire tomorrow. That's not it. Focus on transforming how you navigate your everyday moments. How do you speak about yourself, even just in your own head? How do you carry your body? How do you react when something nice happens? Do you fully let it in, or do you immediately kind of doubt it?
Ah, the subtle reactions.
They're huge. Each of those seemingly tiny actions communicates to the field what you believe you're actually available for, what you're worthy of receiving.
Okay, here's a thought experiment then. For you listening, if you were already living your highest reality, that dream life, how would you start your day tomorrow? What would you choose to wear, even if no one else would see it? How would you breathe? How would you nourish yourself, move your body, express your thoughts?
Yeah, and it's not about the fancy clothes or whatever. It's about the internal energetic presence.
Right. Would you still kind of shrink yourself in certain situations? Would you still apologize for being authentically you? Or would you start making choices like someone who deeply, truly trusts themselves? Like someone who doesn't need to get the thing anymore because they've already become the person who naturally has it?
Exactly. When you shift that internal signal, everything connected to it has to start adjusting.
Yeah.
So instead of asking when is it going to manifest, try asking yourself, how would I move through this moment right now if I knew it was already done? That's where your actions stop being reactions to the old reality and start becoming magnetic invitations for the new one.
Okay, but what about the pushback? You start doing this, embodying this new frequency, and maybe things don't change instantly. Or maybe old stuff comes up even stronger.
Right, and this is what trips people up. What many miss about this embodiment process is that it's not about perfection. It's absolutely about persistence. Think about it. Your nervous system has been running the same deeply ingrained programs for years, maybe your whole life. It's found a weird kind of comfort in limitation, right? A familiarity with struggle, an attachment to that frequency of not quite enough. So when you start deliberately broadcasting a new higher signal, your body, your system might initially push back.
Yeah.
It feels unfamiliar.
And people might take that resistance as proof it's not working. Like, see, I tried and it felt bad or nothing happened.
Exactly. But don't mistake that resistance for failure. Please don't. It's simply recalibration. Think of it like tuning an old radio dial. When you're moving between stations, what do you get? Static. Right. That static isn't proof that the clear station doesn't exist. It's just a sign that you're in the process of finding it, of tuning in. Your journey works the same way. Those moments of doubt, those days when the old patterns feel really loud, those times you catch yourself slipping back into scarcity thinking it's all just part of the tuning process. It means something is shifting.
Okay, so don't freak out about the static. What do you do instead?
You practice what we could call frequency anchoring. Every single time you notice yourself operating from the old frequency, the worry, the doubt, the limitation, you have a choice point. Right then and there. And instead of beating yourself up or getting frustrated, which just reinforces the old pattern, you simply redirect gently. You ask yourself, okay, wait, what would the version of me who already has this, who already is this, be thinking right now? How would they be feeling? What would they choose to do next?
Yeah.
And then you make that choice. Even if it's just for the next 5 minutes, you anchor into that new frequency.
And these little course corrections, these micro redirections, they actually do something.
They do everything. They're incredibly powerful. You're literally training your neural pathways to default to that new frequency instead of the old one. Neuroscience clearly shows us our brains are constantly rewiring themselves neuroplasticity, right? Based on our repeated thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Every single time you choose an elevated response, an aligned thought over a conditioned habitual reaction, you are physically building new neural networks in your brain that support your desired reality. You're building the hardware for it.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just woo-woo thinking, it's actually changing your brain structure.
It absolutely is. And there's an even deeper connection here, linking directly to quantum physics. When you consistently choose thoughts, feelings, and actions that align with your desired future, you're not just changing your brain chemistry, you're profoundly changing your body's electromagnetic field.
The energy field around the body.
Exactly. Your heart, for instance, generates a measurable electromagnetic field that's actually, get this, 60 times greater in amplitude than the field produced by your brain. And it can be detected several feet away from your body.
60 times stronger. That's huge.
It's immense. And this is where it gets truly remarkable. Research from places like the HeartMath Institute shows that when you cultivate a state of heart coherence, which basically means your emotions like gratitude or appreciation are aligned with elevated thoughts, you actually become a coherent emitter.
A coherent emitter.
Meaning
Ding.
you're not just visualizing desires in your head anymore. You are broadcasting them powerfully through your entire electromagnetic system. You become like a strong, clear radio tower in the quantum field.
And the result of becoming that coherent emitter.
Well, what's extraordinary is that you'll start to notice the field responding in tangible ways.
Yeah.
People might interact with you differently. Fresh insights or ideas might just pop into your head, seemingly out of nowhere. Synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences, start showing up more often in your daily life.
And that's not because the universe suddenly decided to sprinkle magic dust.
Not really. It's because your signal has become strong enough, clear enough, coherent enough to cut through all the usual noise and interference. You stopped putting your energy into waiting for someday and started actually embodying it's happening now. That is what coherence does. That's how genuine manifestation works, not through pleading or forcing or endless scripting, but by becoming the energetic signal that your future self already transmits.
Okay, but the mind. The mind will fight back, right? It'll whisper, but look at the bank account. Look at the circumstances. Aren't you just being unrealistic?
Oh, absolutely. Expect that. That's your history talking. That's the old programming trying desperately to maintain its limitations, its familiar territory. Just let it speak. Acknowledge it. There's that old thought again. And then gently, firmly continue moving forward from the new state. This isn't about convincing anyone else or even convincing your own skeptical mind sometimes. It's about training your own energetic field, your own body, to accept what your soul, your deeper knowing, already recognizes as true. So maybe today, just voice one statement like it's already a done deal. Make one small decision like you're already there. Take one tiny action as if it's already yours. Because the more you act and feel like it's already yours, the more the field accepts that as your reality. And when the field accepts it, your external reality has to adjust to match your signal.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Sometimes on this path, you hit these plateaus, right? Where maybe everything seems to pause.
Yes, that happens. You've been doing the inner work. You feel like you're stabilizing your energy. You've genuinely stopped chasing. And yet, no big dramatic external changes seem to be happening just yet. But deep inside, you feel a profound shift. Maybe your thoughts are calmer, your nervous system feels more settled, more secure.
And then maybe subtly something else starts to happen, like seeing repeating numbers.
Exactly. A repeating number sequence might start appearing. Maybe it tracks you across phone screens, clocks, license plates, receipts. Maybe for you it's 777 or 1111 or something else.
And at first you might just brush it off. Oh, coincidence.
Right. But a part of you, the part that's becoming more attuned, more sensitive to energy, kind of knows. It's not random. It feels like a communication. Maybe a gentle little nod from the universe, an energetic reflection.
And interestingly, it often seems to appear when you weren't desperately looking for a sign.
Precisely. And that's the key, because the quantum field doesn't really respond well to desperation or neediness. It responds to harmony, to coherence. When your internal field reaches a certain level of sustained alignment, the universe often begins to communicate back in these subtle ways, like mirrors reflecting your own inner state.
So seeing 777, for instance, isn't necessarily the universe shouting, your thing is coming tomorrow.
Not necessarily, no. It's more like a confirmation. It's confirming that you have become an energetic match for what you desire, for what's actually already been surrounding you on an energetic level. It's a sign that the foundation you've been building internally, sometimes deliberately through practice, sometimes just through cultivating quiet, peaceful presence, is now vibrating at a frequency that resonates with manifestation.
And the number 7 itself, in mystical traditions, often relates to wisdom, intuition, that kind of thing.
Yes, often divine wisdom, spiritual awakening, inner knowing. And when it appears tripled, like 7777, it often signifies a particularly potent, energetic signature of harmony.
Harmony, not perfection, though.
Definitely not perfection, but harmony, alignment. It suggests that your thoughts, your actions, and your core emotions are no longer fighting each other, working at cross purposes. You're no longer trying to manifest, say, abundance from a body that still deeply feels unworthy, or visualizing success with your mind while your heart is broadcasting fear and uncertainty. You've achieved a level of internal coherence that's deep enough, consistent enough, to actually start shifting your experienced reality, your timeline.
So in quantum terms, seeing these numbers is like your internal radio frequency is finally clear enough.
Yeah, it's like it becomes so clear and stable that it starts to not just pick up, but maybe even influence the underlying information fields of reality itself. Rupert Sheldrake might call it tapping into Morsic resonance. It means your consciousness, your state of being, has achieved such a degree of alignment that you're literally becoming entangled with the quantum information, the potential, that corresponds to your desired future. The number itself, 777 or whatever it is, becomes like a little flashing light on the map, subtle bridge between your current experience and the reality you're actively becoming.
Okay, this is critical then. What you do after seeing these signs is maybe even more important than seeing them in the first place.
Hugely important. This period immediately following these kinds of synchronicities is so crucial because what do many people do? They see the sign, they get excited, and then they unconsciously kind of relax their focus.
Yeah, like, okay, cool, it's coming, I can chill now.
Exactly. They interpret it as permission to stop doing the inner work, to stop maintaining that frequency. But actually, these signs are often an invitation to intensify your focus, to double down on your presence and alignment. You're at the threshold, you're close. The wave of possibility is just about to collapse into physical form. This is precisely when your commitment to holding that elevated frequency becomes most vital.
So don't take your foot off the gas energetically.
Not at all. Think of it like this. When you're seeing these signs consistently, it's like your awareness is performing quantum tunneling. It's moving through the energetic barrier between your current reality and your desired one. The key is to maintain your vibrational state, your coherence, while this tunneling process is happening. Keep the frequency steady.
Okay, but during this phase, sometimes things can get weird, like maybe old patterns flare up intensely right before they disappear, or unexpected challenges pop up.
Yes, that can definitely happen. You might notice what seems like resistance or even temporary chaos in your external world. But try not to interpret it as the universe testing you or pushing back. It's more often simply the old reality structure, the old energy patterns, reorganizing themselves to accommodate the new, higher frequency you're consistently embodying. It's a bit like renovating a house while you're still living in it. There's temporary disruption, dust flying everywhere, but it's all in service of the bigger transformation that's underway.
Right, the structure is shifting to match the new blueprint you're holding.
Precisely. So if you're seeing these signs, please don't miss their deeper significance. It's not permission to slack off. It's an invitation to anchor even more deeply into your desired state. Think of it as a gateway. And your responsibility isn't just to celebrate getting to the gate, or worse, slide back into old patterns of passivity or doubt. Your job is to maintain that clear signal, stay in the flow of that new reality, and allow the field to continue synchronizing with you without adding new interference.
We often hear stories of manifestations just popping in suddenly, but what you're saying is, in the quantum realm, nothing is truly instant.
Exactly. What feels immediate or sudden in our 3D physical world was usually carefully, consistently constructed in the unseen energetic realms first. These signs, like 7 to 77, indicate you've reached a crucial turning point, that delicate balance between clear intention and unwavering certainty. It's the space where your desired reality isn't just moving toward you anymore. It's actually beginning to crystallize around you because you've become its energetic center.
And this leads to another powerful state, right? Something maybe overlooked, serenity.
Ah, yes,
It's
serenity. It's not just a nice, calm feeling. It's actually a potent manifestation accelerator. When you reach a state of deep inner peace and trust, your brainwaves naturally tend to shift into what neuroscientists sometimes call the alpha-theta bridge.
alpha theta. What happens there?
It's this amazing frequency range where your conscious mind and your subconscious mind start to synchronize. They come into coherence. In this state, your subconscious becomes incredibly open and receptive to new programming, to the new reality you're choosing. And your conscious mind becomes much more attuned to subtle, intuitive nudges and signals from the quantum field.
But again, this serenity isn't just passive, like zoning out, right?
Not at all. It's a very active state of allowing. And honestly, it requires tremendous inner strength and discipline, especially in our culture, which constantly equates effort, struggle, and hustle with achieving results. Learning to manifest from a place of deep serenity can feel completely counterintuitive. We've been conditioned to push, to strive, to force outcomes, but quantum manifestation just doesn't work that way.
It's more like gardening.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Think about growing a garden. You prepare the soil, you plant the seeds, you provide the right conditions, sunlight, water, and then what do?
You trust the process. You let nature do its thing.
Exactly. You don't dig up the seeds every 5 minutes to anxiously check if they're growing. You're right.
Yeah.
You don't stand there yelling at them to grow faster. You simply trust the process and keep maintaining the optimal conditions. Manifestation works exactly the same way. You plant the energetic seed through your aligned thoughts and, more importantly, feelings. You maintain the frequency through your embodying actions and state of being. And then you allow the quantum field, the universal gardener, to bring it into form in its own perfect timing.
And there's that paradox again. The less you need it to happen.
The faster it tends to show up.
Yeah.
And it's not some cosmic trick or test. It's simple frequency physics.
Yeah.
Neediness, desperation, frantic wanting. That's inherently a frequency of lack. It screams, I don't have this, which directly contradicts the very thing you're trying to create or experience.
Yeah.
But when you can hold your desire lightly, with appreciation for what's already unfolding, maybe even excitement, but without that desperate attachment, you consistently maintain the frequency of already having it. You're vibrating in harmony with it.
Okay, let's go even deeper now. Identity. You mentioned it earlier, but it's more than just thoughts, isn't it?
Oh, much more. Your identity isn't just a collection of beliefs or thoughts you have. It's an actual energetic structure. It influences every single cell in your body. If you've been operating from a limited identity, I'm someone who struggles, I'm unlucky in love, I never have enough money, for years and years, your entire biological system has literally organized itself around that frequency. It feels normal.
So when you start deliberately embodying a new, more expansive identity, I am abundant, I am worthy of love, I'm successful, the body might freak out a bit.
It absolutely might. It can feel like a threat to its equilibrium. You might experience what psychologists sometimes call upper limit problems, where good things start happening, success starts flowing, positive changes occur. And it feels deeply uncomfortable, even anxiety-provoking. Why? Because it doesn't match your historical energetic set point. Your body literally rebels against the good news.
But that discomfort, that's actually a good sign.
It's often a fantastic sign. It means you're genuinely stretching beyond your old comfort zone. It means you are literally forging new neural pathways, creating new energetic patterns. And here's the key insight, I think. You don't have to wait for your body to feel comfortable with the new identity before you claim it. In fact, if you wait for comfort, you might wait forever, because the old identity is the comfort zone. Instead, you have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable during the transition. You recognize that temporary discomfort not as a stop sign, but as the feeling of growth, the feeling of your nervous system upgrading itself to support a higher frequency.
Is there a way to make that upgrade process smoother, less jarring?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's a really powerful practice you could call identity bridging. It can accelerate the process and make it feel much more sustainable. The idea is, instead of trying to make one giant leap directly from your current identity, I'm broke, to your ultimate desired one, I'm wealthy, which can feel overwhelming and trigger massive resistance, you consciously create intermediate identities that serve as energetic stepping stones along the way.
Okay, stepping stones, give me an example.
Sure. So if you're currently struggling financially, but the end goal is effortless abundance, maybe your first bridge identity isn't I'm a millionaire. Maybe it's I am someone who is learning to receive abundance, or I am becoming financially conscious and making empowered choices, or I am open and available to unexpected streams of income.
Ah, okay. So these bridge identities feel more believable, more accessible from where you are now.
Exactly. They give your nervous system, your subconscious mind, time to adjust gradually. Each bridge identity has its own specific thoughts, feelings, and aligned actions. You practice embodying that stepping stone identity until it starts to feel natural, until it becomes your new normal. Then maybe you create the next bridge identity, moving you closer still. It's kind of like how quantum particles behave in quantum mechanics. They can make these quantum leaps, but also through intermediate virtual states. It prevents the massive shock to your system that can trigger self-sabotage and makes the whole transformation feel far more organic and integrated.
That makes a lot of sense. Less overwhelming.
Way less overwhelming. And ultimately, this is where your true power resides now. Not in how hard you push or how fast you try to force things, but in how consistently you can remain anchored in the energy of, it is already mine. Not to impress anyone, not to manipulate the field, but simply because that is becoming your authentic state of being. You're not desperately searching for external confirmation anymore. You're being the confirmation. You're not trying to perform worthiness. You're simply embodying it as your natural state. And the quantum field, it doesn't need convincing. It just mirrors back who you are being.
And when you really get there, when you release the resistance, clarify the signal, eliminate the static between your highest potential and your current experience, something really beautiful emerges, doesn't it? That deep, quiet serenity we talked about.
Exactly. Not frantic excitement, not anxious hoping, but just a profound, grounded peace and knowing.
So this whole deep dive, really, it hasn't been about chasing after desires or trying to get things.
Not really. It's been more about remembering your true nature. Understanding that the frequencies you seek, whether it's prosperity or deep peace or genuine connection, they already exist within you. They're not out there waiting for you to earn them. They're inherent potentials inside you, just waiting to be activated and, crucially, stabilized through your consistent focus and embodiment.
And the shift. It might not be some sudden lightning bolt, right? But you'll definitely start to recognize it in the subtle ways life responds.
Absolutely. You'll notice it. Maybe a conversation just flows with unusual harmony. Maybe you find yourself feeling a surprising sense of inner peace, even when external circumstances are a bit chaotic. Maybe you make a significant choice easily, without weeks of agonizing analysis. These are the quiet indicators. They tell you that your signal is stabilizing, that you're no longer just reaching toward the field. You're becoming integrated with it. You're merging with it, broadcasting a frequency that no longer compromises with your past limitations.
But the old identity, those old stories, they don't just vanish overnight.
No, they likely won't. They'll still whisper. They'll pop up, tempting you with familiar patterns, familiar doubts. They'll say, "You're not really ready for this. Who do you think you are? You need more proof first." But each and every time you notice that voice, you face a profound, pivotal choice. Do I hit replay on the old story one more time? Or do I choose, right now, to hold the frequency of the new one, just for this moment, and then the next moment?
So it shifts from pursuing to allowing.
Exactly. You're no longer pursuing anything externally. You're permitting it internally. You're receiving. You're simply witnessing your own cultivated energy returning to you, mirrored back as your experienced reality. You stop waiting for the quantum shift to happen to you because you realize you are the quantum shift.
Wow. So what if the greatest manifestation isn't getting something out there at all? What if it's simply finally recognizing and fully embodying the reality you've always held within your vision, right here, right now?